Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, here we are. The finale, the main event. This is our last cast for E3 week. And of course, we're going to talk about some wrap-ups. We're going to talk about our favorite games from it. But this is the last breakdown cast we're doing. I am the web-slaying Travis Snell.
I'm Adam Hartcaster, Dylan Moss.
I'm Taylor Field.
And yes, we are here to talk about the PlayStation, Sony, PS4 conference. Lots of hype. We're going to start with the conference first, then we're going to get to the pre-show stuff after, talk about the stuff that's hype building. Dylan, let's start with you. What did you think about this conference?
I have to admit, I was a little disappointed with it. I feel like with every other conference, even if I didn't love it, like, at least something changed. Whereas for this conference, I feel like most of the games that I already wanted to get, like Days Gone and Spider-Man, I'm still going to get them. And the games that I was on the fence about, like God of War, still on the fence. I don't know if I'm gonna get the new one. As for new stuff, I guess the Horizon DLC. But other than that, I just gotta wait. I feel like nothing's coming out right now for me. And every other conference, I think there's some stuff in 2017 almost, other than maybe EA. Mm-hmm. So I would say I'm a little disappointed. But as far as the presentation, I still think it was a pretty good show. Obviously they don't dilly-daddle, right? They kind of just go game to game to game, and I don't think any games they really took too long to show. They kind of took their good amount of time. So, and then there was a couple pretty hype moments that we'll talk about. So overall, I was disappointed, but it was still pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Taylor,
your Xbox to the core. Did you say this is your first Sony conference?
Well, I've watched them before, but with you guys, this is my first. So
I see.
My first being in the position where I have to dissect it and kind of think about reviewing it after.
I see.
That being said, I feel like I was kind of let down a little bit based on just because the hype I heard from last year. I think that kind of just set me expecting this is going to be amazing. Because it's just games. But in this sense, it was just games I already heard about, and then not getting certain release dates was kind of a bummer for things, because there are some of these games that they showcased, they are really, really good, and I will admit, I felt a little bit jealous, thinking okay, these are awesome exclusives, and for PlayStation players, you guys are very lucky to get some of these IPs, but I didn't feel like it was anything that blew me away. In fact, for me, I'm willing to lean a little bit more towards Xbox at this point, I guess.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
It's just because it's for me some of those games are still I felt like I got a little bit more enjoyability.
Yeah, the games thing it's all different strokes for all of us. I would just say from presentation wise, we saw Sean Layden twice tonight, and that was nice. Nothing, just games.
Yeah,
I think presentation wise, they're still killing.
They did that really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm definitely not as, disappointed as you, because months ago when we started talking about E3, I said I'm not going to get too excited for this, because I think last year was lightning in the bottle. You look at what happened for the first time. You had Heavy Rain dropping it, the Heavy Rain team dropped a Detroit trailer the year before. It was more like a teaser, but you had that. God of War was coming back. They announced Spider-Man. They announced the exclusive Batman VR. Crash came back. And it felt like all these things that could be the one or two big games at a conference. Usually every game has that. They're smaller games, they're sports, and that's they're two big games.
Yeah.
Last year felt like everything was a big game, and I don't remember there being a dull moment. Where this year, it's a little bit different, where for me, there were dull moments, but it's stuff that, Monster Hunters, right? Where Ruben texted you and said, he was oh, Sony won, very excited, things like that. I think there were still big games, but I think there were big games that pertained less to me. So then I go to the route of, okay, the games that I do really like, what happened there, actually we won't get into that, but I thought the games that I was kind of, a 65-35 positive as far as, they showed me this, I got what I wanted, and there's 35, I left a little lacking. I think they showed a bit too much of games we already knew coming about, it's not a spoiler, but I got Days Gone and another Detroit trailer. And those, without a release date, it's kind of, there's a couple moves where I'm I don't know if you need to show that. I know you're keeping the hype alive, but there were a few disappointments in this. But overall, there's two sides of it for me. Presentation-wise, I still think it's spectacular. I think this is the way you do a press conference. Personal-wise, I might have to give 2 ratings at the end, because that's a bit different. I did not love this conference as much. I didn't think I was going to, and there was more games that, for Marvel vs. Capcom, different audience that not for me. But I once we talk about it, I'll have like a final rating. But
let's hop into the game.
Yeah, I liked it overall quite a bit. Started with Days Gone right away.
Well, the DLCs first.
Oh shit! Yeah, Uncharted DLC. Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
shit!
Sorry, I forgot to write those down because we were having some audio issues. I didn't write them down. Yeah, they did Uncharted and Horizon. Horizon, I called for the podcast listeners. Hashtag Travs told you. But that's the thing, Uncharted I don't play, but that is, people are really hyped about that.
And I heard that the fourth one was, I mean, I guess it's a series that people like in general, but I heard the fourth one was, like, really good. So.
Yeah, so this is the case where with Uncharted, lots of people are excited and loving this, where it's like, for me, I don't have no stakes. That's why I want to get out there after on Twitter and see, because maybe it's just a lot of games that people really love, and it's like, I'm not in that camp. But they did Uncharted, much more details on that. They gave a date, I think. Did they say September, October, something like that? I didn't get to write down, but it's coming
Horizon was September.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the...
I think Uncharted was 2017, though, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, that's pretty good for two bigger titles that a lot of PS4
I think that's a good way
have.
to start off the conference, because it's two, obviously, really, really big games, and almost just kind of get it out of the way, sort of. I didn't really like the trailer a whole lot for the Horizon one. I mean,
we didn't have audio.
Well, honestly, yeah, that's true. I think all I really needed was the logo to be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get this anyway. Like, I would probably get it regardless of what the trailers are like. But yeah, the trailer for it wasn't that hype. Yes, the sound was kind of glitching out. And then Uncharted, I still haven't gotten to the fourth one. I have the collection for 1, 2, and 3, and I've barely even started that. So it'll probably take me a long time before I eventually get to Uncharted 4. And when I do, there's some DLC there. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if it'll be good DLC.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the Uncharted games. I played the trilogy on PS3. That's another game, like, if I ended up going with PS4, I definitely would have got Uncharted 4, absolutely. The DLC looked really cool. I remember seeing bits of it before. As for Horizon Dawn, I don't know a lot about the game itself, but it's cool that they're finally getting an expansion pack for it. So,
finally,
power to the player.
Yeah.
I mean, the game came out in February. That's pretty good timing.
Finally. And then after that, that's when Sean Lane came out, talked a little bit, and then he showed a date.
Get the fly, Taylor. Get the fly. He's gettable. He's gettable.
You want me to put it like this?
I want you to go while he's on the ground and go behind him. Remember, behind him. Oh, Taylor! You can't take 20 seconds. You gotta just hit the fly.
You gotta be quick like a hyena.
Oh my gosh. That was the worst display of fly catching I've ever seen.
It's the dishwasher.
Alright, so Days Gone. They showed a gameplay segment of probably 5 or 6 minutes long of Days Gone. And I think Travis mentioned as we were watching it, very different than the gameplay trailer that we got last year. Last year was just running away from the big horde. This game, it looks like there's some more you can kind of... Well, I guess, first of all, there's like some other bandits. There's some sort of other human players rather than it just being straight up you against zombies. And you can obviously lure them in. They showed like some more really dense forest sort of locations. And then they showed... Did you get it?
No.
And then they showed some sort of zombie bear that was absolutely terrifying. This was a game that last year, even though the demo was... I guess it was pretty one-note. It was just, one guy running away from some zombies. I don't want to say I was completely sold on it, but I was like, when I get my PS4, I'm like 80-85% sure I'm going to buy this game. It was a game that appealed to me. And so this trailer, I obviously loved it because this gameplay, I should say, rather than trailer, it showed off a more dynamic, side of this game.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, it had a little bit more, it looks like the game has more range to it now, and it's worthy of being a full game. I'm still curious, what you kind of I wonder how open world it is versus how much you got to go do certain quests, or
how linear
versus how open world it is. So I'm still curious. There's still questions, but I think this trailer really added to what my concept of Days Gone is, and I was really, really, really expecting a release, and I was thinking that one of their big games they should drop as a 2017. So that's one thing I kind of alluded to in my overall, is that I'm a little bit disappointed. Did you get it? You missed it again.
Fucking thing.
The damn fly. Yeah, I was really thinking...
Oh, no! I had it in my fingers! Damn it! Here to watch some Sony breakdown. These fuckers are just catching a fly.
This thing has been bugging us for 2 hours now.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking for one of those big heavy hitters, your Days Gone, Detroit, God of War, Spider-Man. I think I really thought we were going to get a 2017. I was thinking this one was going to be it just after the DLC. Thought it would have been perfect, but we didn't even get 2018. I would have to I would think it would be 2018. It can't be 2019, right? That's too far out.
I don't know if it is, because I just feel like with both God of War and Spider-Man getting 20... If none of those games would have got 2018, I would have been like, okay, they're playing close to the chest. Maybe that game they're working on, they don't want a Guardian situation where they keep delaying it. But I'll ask you before we continue on Days Gone, and you go, Taylor, would it have been better to switch this and God of War? Because to me... I think God of War, not even just to start the thing, I think getting a game with a release date right away would help. Even though it was 2018, because that would have actually lowered my expectations when we saw Days Gone footage that we would have got a release date. Because right when you, like you said, DLC, both packs coming out in 2017, right when this came right after, I'm like, oh, this is for sure this year. They got nothing in November, not knack or anything, like nothing huge, their big game. They got like a lot of partnerships and little games coming out, so I was like, this is going to be it. And then when it just ended, not even, early 2018, nothing, I think it would have been better to put God of War a game with a date, and then later on you might be like, oh, like when Spider-Man, I didn't think we'd get a date. I thought we'd get a date on one of them or whatnot, so I think they should have swapped them if there wasn't a date.
I'll agree with that, yeah.
It was strange to start with it, because I thought for sure we were getting a date, and unfortunately we didn't, and that's really its point, because it was not 2018.
Because that was like, obviously we had like 2 DLCs, but that's kind of the first big game of the conference. And yeah, I mean, I was just, after what we saw on screen, I was fully expecting a date. And
yeah, because it looks pretty finished. It looks pretty fleshed out. I don't know, and just because we saw it last year, there's a couple games I don't know. I guess the games that we saw last year, the biggest ones were Spider-Man, God of War, what the fuck was it? Death Stranding, Detroit, and Days Gone. And for those, we got 2 release dates at them. None of them were 2017. I guess it was just the way they showed it, that's how I thought we were going to get a date.
Of course.
Yeah, Taylor, what did
especially because we had gameplay footage last year.
Yeah, and again, that's why I thought for sure another extended gameplay footage. So, Taylor, what did you think of Days Gone?
I'm all for a zombie game.
As long as they're good, Taylor said.
Yeah, as long as they are good. Like, the last one I invested in was Dying Light, and since then I haven't seen one that's really struck my attention. This one just... last year, or when they dropped that first trailer or gameplay footage of it, it blew my mind seeing, okay, there's so much action going on, and it's not just like a narrow view of vision where you gotta focus on, but you have all these zombies coming at you from all these different points, and it looks so interactive, this world that they made. And
I love when he did the trap of, he knew the horde was there, instead of explosion, they all came and took out that camp.
Yeah.
Stuff like that was really cool.
Well, it makes me wonder, that's obviously not going to be the only way to achieve your objective, but then it sets you up for maybe doing different things. Like, you could take them out all on your own, or you could blow up that trap or the wall and let the zombies come in. There's different scenarios you can pursue, and I think that's a really cool feature. I was definitely surprised that they weren't going to drop that release date, because, I mean, this is the second gameplay video, so it just seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on the fact that I think that they should have swapped out God of War, because I feel like God of War, it's going to have those fans there that are going to wait and they'll go for that whenever they drop it. But get this one it looks ready. Get this out there already, this new zombie game, and just establish itself. So, but I guess they know what they're doing.
Yeah, or it's just clearly not ready. That's another reason, right? I think if it was ready to go, they'd release it, right? So it's just, I guess, still being worked on. Yeah, for me, last year, we talked about so many of the games were fantastic. There's maybe Call of Duty and another game was I wouldn't get, but this was kind of lower on my tier, because I was just another zombie game. People make Last of Us, that's a great kind of zombie monster game. And it looked very kind of just basic to me with the hordes. I didn't like that, and I thought, are you just going up against the hordes? If so, that'd be not that fun. Would they be kind of just on the side? And that's why this trailer really emphasized that the risk was the horde, but it is the humans as well. And there's the whole mission where he's doing all this stuff, taking humans out, setting traps, and then he just happens to come across a horde. Which didn't really make sense, because the horde was right beside the people. The fact that they didn't, find them, whatever. But
the thing they showed it seemed pretty scripted.
Yeah. So I like that. I love, once again, for the presentation, they had the actual people hanging from the roofs in the Coliseum, and they were moving around. That was really cool. And yeah, I liked the traps of just setting traps with humans, the classic throw a rock. I liked using the horde against people. They're more of an environmental thing than a physical threat, and that's what I liked. So yeah, this actually sold me, and that's maybe why I was more mad that there wasn't a release date, because last year I was oh, that looks good, but I don't think I'd pick it up. Where this year I was like, oh, this looks really good. I can't wait to play this. And there wasn't even a 2018. I was like, God damn it! Like why? Like I got so mad for wanting this game, and I don't even have like an estimation when it's coming out. I'll wait if it's that good. Great enough. I'm not happy. And the gameplay thing was good, so they showed that off. They kept people hungry and wanting for it. But it sold me more than last year, so I guess that's a good thing. So after that was Monster Hunter early 2018,
right.
something that took us for. Something took us for a surprise, but as I'm looking, there's a lot of 2018 games. Mm-hmm. So it's the thing of, like, maybe this conference is a little disappointing of, like, 2017, like, not the pre-show, but this, but it's like, it is kind of setting up for next year if all these games hit their date. We got a huge year next year.
Good point, yeah. Well, that's what I was about to say, like, I guess the pre-show was kind of there, like, hey, check out all this 2017 stuff. As for Monster Hunter, I think I've never played a Monster Hunter game with this one. I don't think it was a great demo, but I think it could be a fun game. I think I don't know entirely what the games are about, but I think the demo itself wasn't that exciting, wasn't that interesting, didn't sell me, but I'm definitely like, it's not a game that I've written off, right? Like I'll still watch the next gameplay trailers, read some details on it, an article or something like that, and see, okay, what, like, because there's a lot of fans. I think you were saying Ruben's a big fan of this. And I'm wondering why that is, and if so, then this game will probably be pretty badass. If this game has a good track record and bring it on the PS4, it looked beautiful, like walking through the jungle and stuff, and all the T-Rexes and whatnot.
I don't think it looked that beautiful, to be honest. I thought
it looked pretty nice.
I thought compared to everything else we saw, Days Gone Spider-Man, for me that looked like a little bit lower, not like oh my god.
I'll give you that, but I still think it looked great.
No, I didn't get that same vibe. Like, okay, it looks like a next gen game, but nothing that it didn't blow me away. That's something that just didn't catch my eye. I agree with Dylan. I think the demo wasn't that great. It wasn't that exciting. They did a lot of weird things where he'd like fight something and it would cut to a different scene of him fighting something. Like I didn't think it was. I don't think it rolled the best. I don't think it flowed the best, that cutscene, or just the scene that they showed. And I think I want to see how that sells and how that does, because, like I said, Ruben was a big fan of it. I'm sure online people were, but the crowd was dead for it. Like, when they came back, that crowd was, like, and that's rare at a Sony conference. So to me, it's like, and we've talked about, that was primarily on what type of consoles? Like, Nintendo consoles?
It was Wii.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I think it's a big thing for a pocket full of fans. I could see that being a game that comes out and not really does that well. Like sales, I could see it being a hardcore, like, niche audience, a cult following. But I don't know if it's going to set the world on fire. So we'll see. And for me, it just didn't look like a game I wanted to play. It was alright, but, you know, I'm not a big Monster Hunter fan. And if I'm going to do Monster Hunter stuff, I'll go back and play Horizon. So what about you, Taylor?
I've never played it. I've seen... Like, my cousin used to play all the time on the Wii, Monster Hunter 3. Like, it looked like a really, really fun world to just dive into, like, with all these different monsters and everything. I think that it's been a long time since a new one has released, so...
I'll take a look.
I feel like there's one on the 3DS not long ago.
And
like, within the last year or two.
Yeah, and I don't think there's one on the Wii. And all that stuff.
That was a big segment already online one. I do think the conference, from what we've gone so far, was, as a conference alone, the best conference of E3. So they kill that again, but there wasn't much competition this year, I think. I don't think no one really laid it out that well, except for you. You're saying Xbox beat them, you know. I think you're going to be alone on that totem pole. $4.99!
Oh, wow.
I think that it was, it's a little up there. The game looks great. I think I'm not a Monster Hunter like player. Like, I never played it on the Wii, like I said, but it's definitely not a game that would strike me over as like, oh, I'm gotta get a PlayStation to play this game. But it's like you said, like it's got. I know it has its followers that are out there. I know it'll probably do very well.
There's a lot of. There's like one came out in 2014, 15 for 3DS. Same thing at 16, 2017 for Nintendo 3DS and Switch. So. There is one for the Switch. There's been spin-offs that came to 360, iOS, PC, so they've been around for a while. Yeah, one...
Been around the block.
Yeah, one in 2013 came to PlayStation 3, Wii U. So, I don't know if that is... Monster Hunter World, that's what that was called, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 2018 PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Yeah, that's what I was going to say before I saw this. Will initially release on PlayStation 4 and Xbox with Microsoft Windows to fall. So it looks like PS4 is getting one of those launch exclusives where they'll get it for a while and then Xbox. Because they did not say exclusive, and that's why I was wondering about that, and that confirms it. So it looks like PS4 will get, early access to it. So
Okay. It definitely didn't look like it was presented well enough. Like the beginning of it just didn't interest me, and I didn't know really what I was watching.
Yeah.
But as soon as that T-Rex thing dropped in, and he was like sneaking past it, and then he used the tree to his advantage, tangling it up, and then just fighting it and everything. I thought that was really cool to use the environments like that to your benefit.
And you love dinosaurs, all your tattoos.
I love
your
dinosaurs.
Jurassic World tattoos.
Yeah, my Jurassic World box office numbers.
Yeah. And then I did like the little end when he sits down and he cooks the meat.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
Nice little joke.
Shadow of the Colossus Remastered coming 2018. And once again, that is a big vibe, 2018. So actually, as I'm reading this, I'm feeling a bit better about the conference now. It's like on the whole right now. It's like, oh, you gotta wait. But when we talk about the press conference, the pre-show, there was a lot of 2017 games, like Hidden Agenda, that I'm looking forward to. So for me, it's actually bouncing out as more we read it. But Shadow of the Colossus, you were talking about this deal that you want to play the original game. Now you got a chance to nice HD.
Well, it was on PS2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, PS2.
Yeah, I never owned a PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2, so the only games I played was like Crash and Spyro and Twisted Metal when I was at my friend's house. And so yeah, it's a game that I've just never really had an opportunity to play. So I'm 100% going to pick this up when it comes out. Mm-hmm. And I did kind of forget about this when we were talking about the overalls, but yeah, I think that's a really, really good choice to bring that game back.
And smart too, because like Elf in the Room Last Guardian was kind of a disappointment, critically and sales. So obviously this was already in the works before that game came out, but it's still something to kind of put some salt on the wound, if you may say so.
Well, I mean, obviously, just because that game had so much build-up, like, it couldn't be like an 8 or a 9. It had to be a 10, right? And it's not easy to make a game that's a 10.
Yeah, and I think the game looked good, too, as far as remastered, like, update graphics. Like, it reminded me of just stuff we've seen do with Crash, like Age of Empire, one of those of, like, you can see the difference from generations, luckily. But, yeah, I think I've tampered with it a bit. I've at friends' place. I've never played it start to finish.
You've hacked with this game? You've tampered with it?
Yeah, I don't know why I chose that word. I may play it. It all depends timing, but I know it's a classic game. I'd like to try it out as well. Taylor?
I've never played it. I've always
suck.
Yeah.
I've always heard
Monster Hunter, nothing. That's nothing.
I've always heard that it was very popular and people enjoyed it. I know I've heard that people were kind of hoping for like a remake for a while or something.
I have heard that, yeah. And I think there has been rumors for a little while.
I had seen Last Guardian, people were like, man, I like Colossus.
Yeah. That's it for you?
That's it.
Marvel v. Capcom Infinite. Now that is their newest one coming out, correct? Because I can never tell.
It's their newest one.
I can never tell sometimes with their titles. I
feel like the last one's been out for like 2 or 3 years now. So
yeah,
last one, yeah.
So yeah, Capcom Infinite. This one they have a story demo coming out. I guess you can play it. I'm not sure where.
Today.
Probably just at E3 or somewhere. And then they said September 16th. So not a Sony exclusive, but obviously they're gonna have exclusive stuff with it. That was already announced at
PlayStation, man.
When was it? PSX. They announced that. Remember? So
cool.
obviously they have their hooks in that. I thought it looked good. I'm not a fighting game guy. The only thing that intrigued me, I gotta see more, is they really stressed upon the story. Fighting games do usually have a story, but the way they were showing it sometimes looked almost like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Like, I know it's not that, but the way they're just like taking on these robots and teaming up. So I was really hoping they were gonna drop that of like, hey, you got the fire mode, but then we have the story mode where it's this kind of fun like arcade game. They would have got my money, honestly. Like seeing Mega Man and Iron Man next to each other, that's fucking sick. But I won't. I think it was cool. You know, Captain Marvel's in there, T'Challa was in there, Nova, Rocket. You know, cool. Won't not for me. That's it.
Yeah. As for myself, as most of you know, I'm a huge Melee fan, and yeah, traditional fighting games they just don't really do it for me gameplay wise. I've never really gotten into them, which is weird because I've always loved Smash so much. But
I don't think that's weird. I think they're just so different of a fighting game.
Yeah,
that's why.
I guess so, but I've never bought in like a fighting game. Like they've never just even piqued my interest really. So, but I do watch fighting games on the semi-regular because obviously the Smash community, it's kind of it's part of the fighting game community.
YouTube Live.
So yeah, a lot of the same tournaments that I go to will have other fighting games. So I'm sure I'll see this game around.
I think the last one was pretty big in the fighting community. Like the esports.
It's still played, so it'll get. It's one of those fighting games that will get replaced when the new one comes out.
Yeah.
But so hopefully it's a good fighting game with good mechanics for competitive play.
We didn't see much of the actual gameplay though, so
No, we actually didn't see any, like,
Fighting.
classic.
Yeah, that's what was
2D
really throwing
fighting.
me off. I was like, oh, they might be doing something with this, but
I definitely wanted to see the gameplay because I played a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, and I love the games. Playing as like Beautiful Joe, Hawkeye, Ghost Rider, Deadpool, like it's so good. And like the games had a huge like following, and they're very popular for like tournaments and all that sorts of stuff. And just to play with friends was just one of the greatest things ever. I'm not
Wow.
the greatest things
It
ever.
is. Like, I have some seriously good nostalgic memories playing with my friends. Like, we'd go into our local EB Games, and they'd have the demo 360, and they would have Marvel vs. Capcom on there, and just, it would be so much fun. So,
Get out. Get out, Tyler.
get out.
You've been here for 3 weeks straight.
It's definitely a game that's on my my list to check out and see what it's like. I want to see some gameplay first, though, but they got all these new characters on there, like Captain Marvel and stuff, and Rocket, so I'm very excited to see what they bring. And just
No
check it
Groot.
out.
Think a Rocket and Groot
Too
will be a
big, I
combo.
think. Too big, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah,
But
so.
I don't know, I think it'd be a good...
They'll kill him off 5 minutes in.
Woof.
And then they had a big VR block, which I think was good because this is the thing, they hit on stuff that they didn't. Like, don't laugh yet. That's why they hit on stuff that they didn't last year. Because remember, we did say that hey, they didn't touch on almost other than Batman and Resident Evil. It was very and a few minor games. It was like shit, I can't remember. There's another one, but like it didn't feel like a block. It felt like a few games. With this, you could tell. This is the VR block. This is what we're bringing.
Yeah.
So I liked that, even though I don't have it. I like that because the fan base I know has been clamoring.
I like
for
to see VR. It's an exciting thing to see as a gaming fan.
Yeah, and they're behind it. It's selling well, so I liked it, even though no games for me. Let's start the big honcho. If you listen to our main show, we got in a big debate about last night. Taylor jokingly predicted that in a year you'll see Skyrim VR. Well, guess what? You got it tonight. Skyrim VR demo gameplay. Dylan's face just dropped when it happened. Man, I couldn't believe it. Now, before we talk, did they say release date this year? Because they said
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because Fallout.
Maybe they did. Who knows?
I'll
I was
look
too
while-
salty.
I'll look while we're talking. We know Fallout 4 and Doom are coming out, so I'll take a look. But Dylan Musk, let's start with you. You love Skyrim. You love all these remasters. You keep rebuying them. You know, you're a huge fan of these.
I think the salt comes from, like, don't get me wrong, Skyrim is a really, really great game. It's somewhere in my top 20, top 15. Like, I love the game and all, but it is nowhere near as good as Oblivion or Morrowind. So the fact that this game just keeps getting fucking talked about every 2 days, they just keep announcing. I know every time we get another fucking Skyrim VR, I have to wait another 2 years for the next Elder Scrolls game.
It's coming November 2017.
Okay.
Bethesda's having a huge fucking VR year.
Yeah.
That's so good for people that have VR, though. They got choice of Doom, Fall, and Skyrim. That's really good. And that's smart on Bethesda to get
Those
in
are
there.
full-fledged games.
Yeah.
Right? Wonder how glitchy they'll be and how
I
often they
cannot
crash.
wait. I cannot wait to hear the reviews on those bad boys.
When it crashes, you just get a headache. Like, so I mean, don't get me wrong. If I had VR, this is a day one purchase. Like, this would be an amazing experience. I just really want a new Elder Scrolls game, and I'm so done with Skyrim. So.
Well, you know, I look at this way. They announced it a year now, so maybe next year they can finally move on. Do you think there's a chance that that's why this year Switch, last year remastered VR, like they're milking Skyrim as much as they can for this year because there's a chance next year we get that tease for a new Elder Scrolls?
I feel like at this rate, like, maybe they won't have a new Skyrim to pimp out next year, but like it might still be selling, so they would just keep it going.
Skyrim VR remastered.
I mean, because Skyrim came out in 2011. I mean, they've had enough time to make the game if they want to, but that's just the thing. Like, if they keep
said it was
working,
years out.
I don't know how long it takes to make VR Skyrim, but
True.
like, all these things take away from the next one coming out, obviously. And since they've been pimping out Skyrim so much, like, even for the first like couple of years, they were doing DLCs, and then they started doing remasters. Like,
now VR.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that's an amazing announcement, and like I said, that would be a day one purchase. I think everyone who owns VR should buy that.
Smart business-wise, because everyone will, because there's not... But that's why Bethesda is such a smart company. I think they're in a different way. We used to love them for their games. I love them from their business sense, because they're just cutthroat, but they're making the money, because we talked about there's no big, full games. They announced last night with Doom Fall. Oh, that's good. This is another one. And these are not just, like, shitty, like, oh, it's an all-right game. Like, these are games that are people's favorites. People loved, were reviewed critically well, did very well, like financially.
Good games.
Yeah, so
even their bad games are like that's still a really good game.
And like in 5 years, when we look back at VR, they put their flag in the ground as being the first full-fledged game. Obviously, it's not a new game, but still, they had that title of, hey, they put a 80, 40-hour game on the VR. And we'll see if this works great. They get a lot of credit for that, you know, and this I think they'll even help PSVR sell even more. Like I think some people will buy PSVR just to play Fallout 4 and Skyrim in VR. Like I think they sell that much. Like Fallout 4, I think is similar. People say it's not as good as 3, but it sold more. It's selling more. It's very much like GTA 5, where I think a lot of people like 4 more, but 5 is just like a juggernaut. It just hit at the right time. So Taylor, what do you feel about Skyrim VR? Your prediction?
Oh, we got it!
The flag has been defeated.
Yes! You didn't even blink. I just pointed and you're like, boom!
That's a Spider-Man hype. He's a Spidey sense.
Falls in your water? Ah, shit.
Oh, he's on my sock.
Oh, poor guy.
Now I feel bad. Oh, I'm gonna go give him a bear oil.
A bear oil?
By sea.
He's gonna give him some bear oil.
Bear oil.
Bear oil. That's a new item in Skyrim.
Well, you know, Skyrim VR, you know, I'm like you, I'm done with Skyrim, to be honest. Like, it's a great game, but to see them pumping out, like, the remastered and then the VR and all this stuff, I don't need it. I understand, like, a Legendary Edition with all the DLCs and stuff, that's great, but where they're going now, they don't need to. It's definitely my second favorite of the Elder Scrolls games. I loved Oblivion, I played that on the PC. I had such a great time with it.
And why was Skyrim your third favorite game of all time, huh? Tell me that.
It's a conversation for another day.
Okay. Wow. For another day. I'm glad to hear that you like Oblivion more, though.
Oblivion is such a great game.
He's just saying that.
It's miles better.
He's just saying that because you're here.
I definitely am ready just for the next Elder Scrolls. And what you say, like, every time we get another feature added onto Skyrim, it's just another amount of time we have to wait for the next Elder Scrolls. And that sucks, because I'd really like to see what they got cooking.
What is Bethesda cooking? What they're not cooking, VR Star Child. I thought it looked alright. This was not a VR game that I would play if I had.
Star Child.
Wasn't that the Gillette Razor game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was alright. I don't think they showed enough. I thought other VR games were good, like the mouse game with the sword, kind of fun. This was like fine.
Well, the thing that confused me is every VR game that I can think of is like a first-person experience, and this seemed like you're controlling like a 2D character, like a platformer. So
I think we haven't seen much, but I've heard there's games like that, third-person games out there in VR. I think it just fleshes out the environment more when you're running around.
Oh, definitely. That's why I'm curious to see what this game would be like in VR. Like, because obviously, if you see a Skyrim or Doom or Batman VR, like you can understand like what kind of experience you're going to be getting, right? Because they are first-person games primarily. So I just don't know what that experience would be like and how hype it is for a VR fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't tried VR yet, so it's really hard for me to understand how cool Star Child looks, I guess.
Yeah, Star Child.
Yeah.
Did it feel?
It looks fun. You got Gillette in there and all that, so.
Hashtag fun.
Hashtag
safe animal.
I don't know. It's definitely not a game that would sell me on VR.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
Would it sell you?
No.
Jeez.
I don't use Gillette. Overrated.
Is that all you have to say?
Yeah, that's all.
Impatient. I liked this trailer really quick. It's obviously some sort of horror game.
The classic VR horror game.
Yeah, I don't think they said 2017, but it looked cool. Very, very scary, hopefully. So,
very scary.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it was quick. It was literally 30 seconds. I liked it because it was short. Looks cool. I think horror games are probably going to be one of your best genres on virtual reality games. So the more them, the better.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Yep.
And that's all I'm saying.
Taylor Field?
We thought it was Outlast at first. Like,
yeah,
I didn't think that.
He did. No.
I think like if a game like Outlast was amazing, so like if you're not like copying it, but you kind of go down that road where you can kind of create that fear in a sense. I think it's a great style, especially for a VR game. I think horror games fit right into the VR kind of style, so I'm curious to see it.
We can't talk about Final Fantasy. Our feed cut off. I think That would not sell me. I'm not a Final
Fishing.
Fantasy guy.
Do you
Yeah,
like fishing? You like Final Fantasy? It's a game for you.
I don't need to play at those Rock Boy bands, so, whatever.
Yeah, I've never really played Final Fantasy games. They just don't really appeal to me, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't really like fishing either. So.
I thought you liked fishing. You go golfing and you just want to catch a fish. That's what you said.
That's later. Don't spoil.
That's because I hate golfing so much that I'd rather.
Oh, wow.
I'm just kidding. Golfing's cool.
Dylan can't talk about this because he's fixing the stream. Bravo Team was like a VR war game. Like it was third person again. Looked
this
fun.
This is my most hyped game of the conference.
Oh well, you missed it. It looked fun. Like pretty basic game. So nothing.
I like COD. VR COD.
I like Tails. That was you. I like COD. Okay, we're moving on. Polyarch. I don't know I can't remember what it was actually. So that's a bad sign for me.
No, because the game next to you, Moss.
Yeah. Oh, it was made by
I'm pretty sure Polyarch is the company.
Okay, thank God. I was like, I don't remember that.
It's the second time you've done that.
I know. I'm on a better roll.
Polyarch or Moss rather.
I
could be wrong on that. That's just I'm pretty sure.
Let us know.
Moss.
I think Moss looked great. I'll let Dylan say why I think, because like what you said to me in the watch along is the reason why I think it's great. But I think it's a fun, cute little thing. I don't think every game it's good to have the horror games, but I think it is good to have some sort of family friendly game because people buying this most likely could have kids. So it's like you're not gonna have fucking 5-year-old Jimmy who's been a star of this conference.
Jimmy, dude.
He's not gonna
every game.
He's not gonna be playing the impatient, Like, no. And if he is, he's gonna be scarred for life. So I think something like this was great. And it looked cute. Lots of kids games are games like this, like platformers, can go from too kiddie to could be like fun. This was to me could be like fun. Mm-hmm. It looked cute. I liked it. I liked the main little character with the mouse. He had a cool ass arm and he had a sword. I liked it. Cool ass arms. That's what I like. That's what I did. That's how I got the fly. Family, brother.
This is the Ratatouille sequel I've been waiting for. So, good old Ratatouille. No, I think this game has. This is another game where I don't really understand like the VR component. Like, do you play as the mouse first person? But I'm not really sure. I think this game has a cool this is a potential, I guess, genre you could say for VR where you play as like a tiny little character. Like the example I use is when you're a tiny little being like climbing around like bookshelves and climbing on desks and stuff like that. And I think that could be a really, really fun type of game to play in VR. And this game might share some elements with that. But I'm not really sure. I don't think this was a great demo to show off what is this game exactly. So
the only reason I think they will is just because they ended it with that snake shot. I know people are like, snake and mouse, like they're enemies, but I really think it was to show
snake and mouse are enemies.
Well, some snide comment in the fucking YouTube is gonna be like, well, you didn't know there, Mr. Jackal Travis, that snakes eat mouses and rats, just so you know, so that's why they did it. It's parallels to real life. I get it, you motherfucker, you ass cruncher. Okay? I'm just saying, I think there's gonna be cutscenes where even if you're not seeing from the mouse, you just swing around, you see this huge the snake from Assassin's Creed in there, I think that's what it's for.
That fucking nerd voice was so good. Wow,
that's who I think they are. They're Andre, all of them, Travis Nelson. They all sound like. Oh, you see, Taylor, what do you think about this game?
Oh, nasal.
It looked like a fun adventure. I don't remember the last time I played as a mouse in a game, so.
Huge genre back in the 80s. Yeah. Big mouse game fatigue at one point.
I want to face off, against some more snakes. That Assassin's Creed Origins got the bar up there, and now this game.
You haven't even played it. Fuck off.
Yeah, with the snake though, I'm down for fighting some snakes in some games.
Okay.
In some games, not every game.
Not every game.
We got a God of War. After we got that, we got out of the VR component. We got a God of War demo. We got some gameplay and a date. Early 2018. Which one told you we were getting a date? And two, in the watch along, I did say early 2018. I think it's going to be in that Horizon February slot. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good slot for them right after the holidays. February, not too many games to play. I think the demo looked great. I'm with Dylan. I don't know if it's day one purchasing just because I haven't played the other ones. I do like this because when I play the other ones, they're very shallow. It's just very beefy. That to me sometimes was the most Xbox Microsoft game. It was very bro-y, very I'm gonna fuck girls. I'm gonna fuck girls and I'm gonna beat up people. It's gonna be so much fun. I love Kratos.
Kratos is my rock.
But I like this one because same as last year, I like the aspect of the son and Kratos, the journey, their conversations. I think I would have been disappointed if there wasn't a date. I like that early 2018 would be great. So this one will be a wait and see. It's on my radar. It depends what else is coming out, but I could be a week one. If it comes up, you're like, this is a fucking great game. I could be interested. So it has my curiosity.
Yes, it has my curiosity because it looks like the classic Sony PlayStation kind of game, like your Days Gone, your Horizon Dawn, your Uncharted. They all look and share like the same elements of just like how your character moves around, how it feels to like play as the character, climbing and stuff. Like all those mechanics are kind of the same through.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about Days Gone entirely, but they all kind of look in that realm. For me, the character of Kratos just doesn't really appeal to like me. I don't really relate to that character a whole lot.
He's such a badass, Dylan.
Wow, lame. Don't do that ever again.
Come on, Kratos.
Please stop. Please
He kills gods.
No, don't do it.
He's the god of, what do we call him? War?
Oh shit.
Okay.
The god of shore?
You're fired.
Sure.
I almost forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, once again, this is a game. Considering I didn't have a PlayStation that I didn't play back in the day, so I don't have the nostalgic value for it. I mean, I do like the changes from this, from the old God of Wars to this game. I think the last ones are like very over the top and maybe like hack and slash kind of. This one looks a little more story driven.
Combat
with
sounds
some actual
great.
Characters. Combat looks good. Definitely, I think that axe. Obviously, you can use it as a boomerang and whatnot. It looks like a fun
One
game.
example of boomerang, whatnot.
And a whatnot. Use it as a bomb. I don't know. So yeah, it looks like a fun game. I mean, maybe that. I think that is a good time slot actually because I can't think of any other. I guess we did get a few early 2018 games actually.
Some of them
this weekend.
Some of them could be like Xbox, and some of them could
I'll
be like,
have to see when it's closer, like. Right after the holidays, when I'm looking at the calendar and seeing, okay, what games are actually coming out, when are they coming out? Maybe I'll buy this game, but right now I'm not sold yet.
I don't have any experience with God of War. I mean, I kind of knew the gist of it. I'd ask you guys what the story was. I think it'll be successful when it comes out, obviously, but I hope that they do something kind of like the Gears of War route, where the original 3 games brought to you like on PS4, so that people who don't know what's going on, they can jump on and they can kind of figure out the story.
The only time I think they would have announced that, I don't think today, because they announced in the pre-show that PSX is going to be in December, so that could be it. The only reason why I think they may not is just because it feels like they're taking a different route story-wise, so I don't know if they want you to play these and be like, oh, these are the badass action games and this is more like a story-driven. You could be right, but if we don't get an announcement at PSX, we don't get
I feel like we
those.
would have had that announcement already, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like that, just based on the timing, like that's something that comes out in November or even in the summer.
Like Uncharted did. It came out in November, and then Uncharted 4 came out in March. So, I agree, but the only other time would be PSX. It's not then they're not going to drop it at a random Tuesday, I don't think, so.
Tuesday's a great day.
Yeah, great day. After that, they showed Detroit. I think they showed a great trailer. This is my most anticipated. Actually, it's second after tonight. It's my second most anticipated game. I love the Heavy Rain team. I love games where you can make a decision that actually matters. I love when they showed. I thought the trailer was great. They showed like all the different scenarios of like how the trees of what you could have done. I was really disappointed because. Yeah, I would have wanted a date, but this trailer felt like a date trailer because they had showed the character from the reveal trailer. They showed the character last year, and then they showed this new character Jesse Williams is playing or voicing or whatnot. So it really felt like it was ramping up, and we didn't get like an early 2018 or whatnot. So I did say, I think in their watch long one, I did say I either felt this game was going to come out like right now or not for a while. I think this is like a 2019 late, like maybe even 2020 game now, and if that's the case. I don't want to see anymore. That's my disappointment. If I could have took Days Gone and that'd be the only game they show with no release date and this got a release date, I'd feel a little bit better. But the fact that we had Days Gone and Detroit, which for me looked really good, made me want to buy the games even more, and no release dates, that kind of hurt me. That's why I'm so glad there's no Death Stranding anywhere. We did not get Hideo Kojima say, here's another cutscene, because I want... Now both these games go away until they're about to release. I don't want these moments where I get hyped and like, oh, no trailer, because we've talked about this, like in No Man's Sky, like Last Guardian, you'll overhype yourself into the part where you're almost not excited for it anymore. Yeah. And that's what I worry about Detroit. So, great trailer, really wish there was a date, and I don't know if I want if this game is like 2019, I didn't want this trailer, then they shouldn't have showed it, because now it's fresh in the mind, so.
Yeah, I agree in terms of, like, this is just like we were saying about Days Gone, just the way they presented it and the fact that they also presented it with gameplay last year. Granted, they did say last year that this was like some alpha gameplay or something, but either way, the fact, like, just the way they're marketing it and advertising it, you would think that you were going to get a trailer. So we were just expecting it, right? Like, we had every reason to believe that they were going to show it, especially because Detroit 2 came later in the conference. It was before Spider-Man, right? But it was after Days Gone, so we didn't get the Days Gone date. So even more thinking, okay, we're going to get a date for this. As for the game itself, I've never actually played Heavy Rain, but I've watched like the entirety of the game. Me and my cousin, like I just love this game. I love watching him play this game, and I've watched streams of it. Like I think Heavy Rain is just a super smart, incredible, original kind of game. I do actually want to go back and play it.
You can buy it on PS4 now.
Yeah, I think I have the tools now. Like I didn't have back then, so I do want to go back and play it before Detroit comes out, and looks like I have some time to do that. But yeah, Detroit for me is almost certainly a day one purchase. I don't know what they could do unless it like gets like 1 out of 10. Like this game is a total bust.
Yeah,
it's only 1 hour long and it sucks. Like I don't see there being a way that I'm not buying this game day one.
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard of it before. That being said, when they showcased it, I thought it was really, really cool. The idea of being able to have all of these options and choices to influence whether you kill someone, you let them live, or
Should
just
I buy the PlayStation or
yeah,
Scorpio.
It looked the pathways were amazing, and then the game visually was just beautiful. So I think I'm very curious to see the story behind it, because you have these cyborgs or androids, I guess, rebelling against humans, which is a really cool concept, and it just looks like the story, gameplay, and the visuals all together. It looks like just an all-around amazing game.
Destiny 2 was had like a trailer, and then it also released some info that it's getting released 2 days earlier than expected. It was September 8th, now it's September 6th, just for consoles. So
And some PlayStation exclusive stuff too.
What?
They got
Strike.
Strike, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're looking at the wrong crowd.
Wall climbing.
I think
vaulting.
I think you're looking at the wrong crowd here. I bought Destiny. I turned after a month. Same as Taylor. Do you guys have anything to say? I'm sure the Destiny fans will be happy, but this is not going to get me into it. No.
You know, Destiny fans, if it's your kind of shake, then go for it.
If it's your kind of shake.
What the fuck? Call of Duty, World War II. All I'll say is, I won't buy this, but it looked like a remastered Call of Duty 2, and that warmed my heart, because that's my favorite Call of Duty 2. So you know what? Maybe one day in a cheap, in a binner, to bring it all home.
Crack open a binner.
Don't you have anything to say before we let Taylor take this away?
My time with Call of Duty has come, and it has gone.
Like the fly.
R.I.P. And even to double on that, I've never really been a huge fan of the World War II and like World War I. I've just never been a fan of that like genre. Even that's why we've talked about like Dunkirk. While I love Christopher Nolan movie and I think it's going to be a phenomenal movie, I'm just not super excited based on just the genre that it's set in. So I am not going to buy this game. If I won the lottery, I don't think I'd even buy this game.
What if you won the lottery and had a gun to your head?
Is it a World War II gun? Those malfunction sometimes. So.
You know, the last World War II Call of Duty we got was World at War.
Yep.
And that was an amazing game. Had a lot of hype for that.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long, long time ago.
Back in the day.
It's been a while.
So, this one's, you know, it's being handled by Sledgehammer, and
I love people handling my Sledgehammer.
I loved Advanced Warfare. Sledgehammer nailed that.
Oh, I love nailing things with my Sledgehammer.
Actually, you don't nail things with Sledgehammers.
Yeah, that would break.
It.
You'd probably just break the fucking bench. Like, hey, you want to nail us in, little Jimmy? Yeah, sure.
Boom! Little Jimmy.
Now he's big.
Get back to your video games.
Get back to his
hammer.
Yeah, that's why he's fucked up. He played impatient. He's just breaking shit.
The story in Advanced Warfare was amazing, so I'm very excited to see what they're going to bring for the storyline in this. Because a lot of Call of Duty games, I find that their stories and their campaigns, they start off really random and they end on an even more random note.
You praise them all the time,
no,
Cats, and now you're trying to bring down the others to raise the suck.
Ghost sucks.
Ghost sucks. Yeah.
Ghost.
A lot of people
Ghost does not suck, sir.
Fuck.
It was the first game of the new generation.
Okay, Jimmy.
Okay. Jimmy.
My name's not Jimmy.
Wow. Relax, Jimmy.
God damn it.
I'm more than excited for this. I pre-ordered it today. Like I'm amped for it.
We were
Before
there.
the trailer.
Yeah. You brought up Assassin's Creed statue.
Yeah, it just randomly bought it. Good deal though. Good deal.
It's a very good deal. I feel like this is
just
going to be
State of K2.
No, fuck that. I feel like this is a Call of Duty
no.
game that people are they've been really wanting for a long time. There's no more jetpacks. They're going back to its roots. So
What's next?
Finally, unless I missed something, but finally, Spider-Man. They did that one last thing. Our friend's been working hard, yada, yada, yada. Spider-Man gameplay. Man, that was fucking good. That to me stole the entire weekend. That is the best game. And it's not just because I'm a Marvel fanboy. That was impressive. The best thing about it is it felt like the Arkham games where when you play the Arkham games, you legitimately feel like Batman. When you're fighting detective mode, the way he acts, this felt like it. The way he's running on the skyscraper, the way he webs things, the way he fights, the way he's spinning, the way he moves, even the way he talked, it was great. It felt like a Spider-Man game. I love PS2, the first and the second one based on the movies. Those games are phenomenal. They're amazing. This looks like it's going to blow the roof off the place. I'm sorry that's a Sony exclusive, but this thing is going to sell like hotcakes. I think it will come out in November, even though there's a chance I think it could get pushed. They just said 2018, so I think that'll be November. That's going to be a huge game, especially if Spider-Man Civil War hits, Infinity War will be out. I know it has nothing to do with the movies, and the trailer was so good from the Easter eggs. You saw Fisk posters. You saw Osborn running for mayor. Fucking Miles Morales is in this game. The new Spider-Man. I don't know how that's going to play. If it's just he's a character. If you're going to play as two Spider-Mans. I don't know. Great trailer. This is the best trailer of E3. And yeah, I think if you had to pick something to end it on, this was the one to end it on.
Definitely.
So, and I'm happy we got a date. That was the other thing too. I felt a little lackluster because I was just selfishly hoping it was this November, but I'm happy now. I can take myself out while we got a date. So
yeah, I agree with everything you said, and some things to add on. I really liked the interactivity of Spidey and just the world around him. Like, I guess just the way, I don't know if it's like through your spider sense, but you can just kind of highlight different things in the environment, such as like a crane or just a girder hanging in the background. And you can just web it, grab it, and smack some guys out with it. Mm-hmm. I loved how
the perching,
yeah,
perch
perching and web slinging. The web slinging just looked so smooth. Looked like a lot of fun. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I loved how, and I'm wondering how this will play when people actually are playing it. But just all the ways he was like saving people. Like he would fling a bad guy out of a helicopter, and then he would, you would have a quick time event. You hit X and you grab him. Or there's like a piece of metal flying down the street, you hit another button, and you can save the people. I just love that whole cinematic. I'm really curious. I obviously like the Fisk and Osborn and stuff like that. I'm wondering, like, what we're gonna have for like a villain or bad guys. I wonder if we're gonna have a villain like a Green Goblin, someone that we know, or if they're gonna make their own. Like, I'm really curious to see how that pans out. Obviously, I would be more hyped if it's a character that I know. Mm-hmm. If not, I'm sure they could play it off. And obviously, at the end of the day, the most important thing for me is the gameplay, and that looked phenomenal.
Well, I think you are going to get characters all over that, I just think the main villain will either be new, or it's going to be a twist. Like, the last Batman game had that, where it's like, oh, it's a new villain, but then it turned out, oh, it was this person, and it's someone from the comic. So, I think it won't be, like, when this comes out next year, we won't know going in, but I think it'll be a twist, or it'll be someone new, and I'm not opposed to that, because you can tell they're trying very hard to make sure everyone knows this is not a game based on a movie. This isn't a cash-in. This isn't Tom Holland Spider-Man. So I think, like you saw Fisk, you saw Norton, I think you'll even fight those villains. I don't think it will be just this main one villain. Yeah. You'll have side quests where you'll fight Goblin, you'll fight Chameleon, you'll fight Give Me Mysterio. Like, you'll fight those fishbowl motherfuckers, Like,
fishbowl motherfuckers. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it either. I just, obviously, I want to see those familiar faces. Just because we've been watching all the movies, we watch the animated show. We talk about it all the fucking time. Yeah. Homecoming's coming out. Like, I want all these characters, Well, but that demo was phenomenal. I think it's hard to say because I can't remember everything right off the top of my head. But that's probably my favorite thing from E3 so far.
Well, and I remember because I listened to the cast not too long ago. You and Liam liked the trailer, but your biggest thing was you guys wanted to see the gameplay first, and like you're sold on it. I talked to Liam
last year's,
yeah. You said like because it was just a cinematic trailer, like oh that looks cool, and it was a big announcement, but it's like you guys were tentative still to like get overly hyped about it, and same thing Liam, like he talked to me, so like it looked really dope, it looked cool, so I think they knocked a home run out of the park.
That's where you hit a home run.
Yeah. So Taylor, what did you feel about this great Sony PlayStation exclusive only coming to us?
I'm very happy for you guys. Like, seriously, like this game,
Thanks.
I got some serious nostalgic vibes, like playing Spider-Man 2 on my GameCube.
Spider-Man 2 is so
Except
good.
like this took that and like it's just amped up like 100 times more. Like it looked
$100.
phenomenal. Like it's straight up. Like
$100.
it looked absolutely awesome. The gameplay, all the moves, launching out like his new gadgets against the side, and the guy walks by and shoots the web out. Like
good gadgets.
Yeah.
The kind of stuff that Spider-Man was packing in this game was just so.
Was he packing any sledgehammers?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was tampering with them.
It just looked absolutely amazing. Again, that's another game I won't be able to play. I'll watch you guys play it, I'm sure.
You'll watch us play. We're gonna sit you down here, tape your eyes open.
It just I think it's definitely a great game. If I ever get that PS4 down the road, it's gonna be an absolute yes.
I think this might be the game.
Absolute yes.
I think this might be the game that forces you, because I just from that trailer, this could be one of the biggest disappointments. But from that trailer, I think this is gonna be a huge game that is gonna push consoles that everyone's gonna be talking about. If the whole game plays like that, has levels and missions like that, that's gonna be a console seller. That's gonna be on the box, that's gonna be all over. Like I could see that pushing you to getting one. And plus 2018, you don't know the price cuts that could happen from here and now. You know, like I think that could push a lot of people to get it.
If they, like you said, if they drop that Mysterio in there, I'm like, oh, that's my kind of guy.
That's my kind of guy.
So we are going to talk about the pre-show stuff, but let's rate the actual just conference. If you're just doing this, we do a 5 out of 5 system. 5 is amazing, perfect, great, out of this world. 4 is good. 3 is decent. 2 is bad. 1 is awful. So who wants to start?
I can start. I don't have a number, but I'll figure it out as I talk. So overall, I think conference last year was better. I guess the conference overall I thought was better just because there was more new stuff. Like obviously we knew about Spider-Man, God of War, Days Gone. Like we knew about a lot of these games last year, and so it's great to see them. I did want more dates than we got. I was really, really hoping for a 2017 for one of the new games. But at the end of the day, like I still have something for 2017 with Horizon DLC. I'm curious to find out more about details on that.
What was it? Winter World? Not Winter World.
Winter World.
Wild Winter? What was it?
The cold, the winter.
The cold winter.
Cold winter. The snowy lands.
It's cold winter DLC.
Crack open a cold winter DLC.
The Outer World. That's my guess.
Yeah,
I think that's
the Outer
right.
World.
Shadow of Colossus. I don't remember a date for that.
It said 2018. It said early. I thought it said
was
early
early
2018.
So yeah, there is.
Actually, it might be stats.
When I think about it, like in terms of games in this conference, I think there's the most games in this conference that I will be buying, like guaranteed. Because Days Gone, Detroit. Obviously, I already have Horizon, Spidey, Shadow of Colossus. I think those are all like guaranteed buys for me. So it's always good to see that. The conference itself, I think, was a little less crisp than last year, just in terms of like cutting from game to game, and maybe I don't know. Maybe it was because there was less new things, and even the way it started. Obviously, that sound glitch. It's like it wasn't a big deal, but it's still like you can't let that happen. I guess, but yeah. Overall, let's see. I will give it a. What did I give PlayStation? I probably gave it a 5 last year.
We all gave 5 last year, yeah.
I think I'll give this one a 4.5? 4.3.
Okay.
Nah, 4.5.
Okay.
That's just annoying. 4.3 is annoying. 4.5.
Mr. Ubisoft?
Mr. Ubisoft. I'm pretty sure didn't I give Xbox a 3 out of 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see the conference last year, so I didn't know what to expect. I just, based off the excitement you guys had, I was expecting this to be really, really good.
Should have been here last year.
I thought that they executed it really well. Like we got what they said. Like, you guys just want the games, that's it, and that's what we got. We just got games, trailer after trailer, and it was really cool to see a little bit more gameplay of some of these games, like Days Gone and Detroit. So these are some titles, like a lot of them I didn't know a lot about, so I get to see them at this conference was really, really cool. That being said, since a lot of these are exclusives, I know I can't play them, but I definitely feel...
You can buy a PS4.
Yeah,
I know.
You're not, we didn't ban you or something like that.
I definitely
banned from EB Games.
I definitely feel that temptation to actually pick up a PS4 and play these games, because they were amazing and they were executed and displayed so well in this conference. That being said, for me, my excitement was higher in the other conferences. Yes, their execution may not have been the greatest, but for Xbox with games like Anthem and then Metro and then Assassin's Creed and all these other games that Ubisoft had, it's more my kind of Starlink. Oh yeah, it's my kind of language. So I'm more of a pull to that. So I'm close to giving it like a 3 with Xbox.
You can. You don't want to look at us.
It's your choice.
You
can give it a 1 if you want.
No, it's definitely not worth the 1. It's better than that.
No.
I'd probably put it at a 3 with Xbox.
You son of a bitch.
I mean, 2.9, just because
Oh my god. Now you are a son of a bitch, you fucker.
2.9.
Xbox has that just edge because
shit, Sony.
I like the yes, they are third parties, but the IPs that they showcased, they were great. I love seeing them. There were only a couple that they had for Sony that really got to me, but overall all of them were displayed really, really well.
2.9, you're such a fucking joke.
Jesus.
I'm joking. So yeah, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'd say on a just conference, taking my fandom out of it, I think it is a 5 as far as... I think they did stuff better about... Remember last year we talked about this on the watch-along, that when COD we thought was VR and they weren't really clear about that. I liked their VR block. They had a tag in the corner. I thought they had stuff like that. I thought transitions were good. So I thought all the stuff they showed was well-paced. It was under an hour, the conference, so I always like the shorter ones. It's good to get all that information in. And it's a cheat, but like I think them doing a pre-show, announcing Knack, announcing Ni no Kuni, Tropico 6 before the show was great. Because we'll get into it in a second. There's a lot of games that are coming out in 2017. Mm-hmm. And I like that they did do that before, because there are a lot of smaller games, or like a like Gran Turismo. So I think that's why this is still the standard for how you do it. Personal, I'm going to go a 4.6. The only reason is because I gave Bethesda a 4.5.
Are you an Android?
It was a sledgehammer.
Yeah. After he killed that fly, he's no longer human.
The fly took over my body. Bethesda was a 4.5. I did like this one better. The only things I would knock against it were some of the release dates, and I understand because actually we're getting a lot, so I felt better about it after, but I think I would have liked more, or maybe not shown me some, and was some games I wasn't as interested as last year. Every game last year I was 85% interested in. This year was probably like a 70%. You know, Monster Hunter not so much, Marvel v. Capcom not so much, but I understand they have their audiences, right? So a 4.6, I always said a 5 is if I stand up and I'm super pumped. Did not do that. If Spider-Man would have been 2017, I would have stood up. They would have got to fire me because that wouldn't have mattered. But they didn't. I thought a good conference overall. So let's get into the pre-show stuff that is important, not as pressing as the other stuff, but it was a little quicker. They showed a Crash trailer. Well, they tried to show a Crash trailer multiple times. They were live working on those games. We should saw audio coming quickly. I love Crash. 18 more days. I cannot wait to play this. I'm buying it day one. When they do that from the old times, which is just the 90s.
The old times.
But yeah, to like the PS1 era, PS2 to now, it's phenomenal. It looks great. I cannot wait. Please go out and buy this game. We need a new Crash. We need a Spyro. If this sells, we're getting Spyro next year. I promise you. I don't promise.
Crash for my... Like I was saying, I think earlier in this conference, I played Crash back when I was a youngster, never owned the game. I think, looking at it in 2017 gameplay-wise, like, I have some nostalgia for it, but not enough to... I honestly don't think I'd have a ton of fun playing it in 2017, honestly. I would love to come over and watch you play it, and maybe if you let me have a turn, that would be kind of nice, but...
I might buy that one disc, maybe, and then I might lend to you. It's
cool.
just because I want the...
I do like the $40 price tag?
Yeah, it is. So for us, it's going to be like a little more. But yeah, so that, I like that price tag of it. It's not... Yeah, we looked today. Remember, it's $50 Canada. So $20 less than a regular game.
But I think putting it in the pre-show was perfect. Just say, oh, here's the release date, and also here's a trailer. And I think that was just they just said it quick. There was no bullshit. They were just like, here it is.
And we said it like on the watch along. I think that pre-show was a great idea. I want Xbox to do that. That's why like I'm a little chissed at you about giving Xbox a little higher, because like there was so much fat they could have cut in that conference, and I thought this was that. It was cutting the fat. Even though I think Crash they could have put in the main show because it's coming out. So I think they maybe made a mistake with that one. That trailer was maybe a minute, so I think they could have snuck that in there. It's out in 18 days. So I think maybe that was a little bit of a mistake, but other than that, I think the rest of the pre-show stuff was great.
I like you said, I think the comparison of like the old days with the modern day kind of graphics, I think it looked really, really cool. I think it's awesome that they're I think it's awesome they're bringing that forward again. And I hope it does well, because if it leads to a new Crash game for you guys or a new
Crash
Spyro
Team Racing,
a new Spyro game. I played a few Spyro games; they're a lot of fun. So I would love to see a new one pop up with that. Yeah. You okay there, Travis?
Knack 2, September 5th. Another prediction I got right. Hashtag Travis told you $40 Knack 2. Another thing, they were talking to this guy who was like head of
this guy outside the E3 conference.
yeah.
This guy outside the theater.
It was Kyle. YouTube Live. I like the way they were doing it. They were talking to this guy, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we've been working on that, and here's the trailer." And they went right into it. And once again, like no fucks given, just went right into it. The $40 price point is great. I think it was a good idea because the first one, it sold well, but was not a big success critically, and like by fans, it was known as kind of a dud. I think if this could be Ratchet and Clank, where people are talking about it, it's $40, great price tag. Great move. Will I be buying it? Fuck no. But I think it's a smart move for them. I think it's a great children's game, and it looked like Knack did, so we'll see. I think it has a chance to sell.
I like the visuals of the game. I think it looks pretty cool. It looks like a good game. Good game for those kids. Good price.
Those kids?
Those kids. The price is a really good thing because, obviously parents will be a lot more amped to just like, hey, let's get this new game for my young Jimmy there.
And it shows that Sony...
Jimmy was like, this game fucking sucks.
It's no impatient. I can kill people in that game, Dad. I like that. We've seen the past, like, since we started this cast, that Sony has experimented with prices. And even this today when we saw...
Oh, they're experimenting.
On the PC... Oh, they're sledgehammers. With the PC gaming, like, Lawbreakers is coming at $30. Like, I like that not every game is this $60 to $80 game. And, like, games that, when you look at Knack, you're like... When you look at, once again, Xbox Lucky Tail... That should not be a $60 game, which it is. You look at this, should not be $60, and it's not. So, hashtag winning team.
It's not a game I will buy, but you know what? I hope it does well. I hope it continues to exist in the world.
Anything on Knack 2?
I completely agree. Like, game like this, like Lucky Tales, definitely shouldn't be full priced. Super Lucky Tales. I'm super glad that they're dropping the price and putting it at that 40 mark. I'm sure Jimmy will like it. He's not playing impatient.
Jimmy's really grown up in the last 2 days.
This is like a sleeper hit, and I gotta remember it for when we do an E3 wrap up and talk about our games. Hidden Agenda. This was a game that the Until Dawn team made. I did not get around to making it because it was a game that I wasn't sure I was gonna do. It did well, and then we've talked about we might do a 24-hour live stream in November, so I've kind of been holding out for that because it's a game where you can play and you can make all the decisions. It's a horror aspect. I'm gonna play it whether we do that or in the future. This game looked great. There was like an app you could like play along with it and make decisions, and like it felt like if you played the card game Avalon, like there's like, oh, you can have a hidden agenda and you have different secret missions. Like it's not like a AAA like this game, but it really intrigued me, and this is like a sleeper hit. It was like my Detroit last year of like this game is really standing out to me, and I love games where you can make choices. Something like Friday the 13th where horror is fun for me, so I thought it was a great mini little trailer too. Like it was, it looked lots of fun.
Yeah, I don't follow...
2017, too.
Yeah, right at the end of 2017. I don't follow, or I haven't followed, I should say. What's that Sony called? Like the Playlink, yeah, that's the word. Yeah, I don't know, is this rolling out, Playlink, or has this been out already?
I feel like it's been out, but it doesn't have anything that huge attached to it.
I think it's a cool idea. Obviously, it brings more people into the game. You don't need to have a bunch of controllers. You can have 6-7 people playing if you want. And I think this game, like you were saying, has the Avalon element. It looks it looks really fun. Like, this is definitely a good game that I know I can almost guarantee we'll play with the GeekVerse crew at some point. I think it looks like a lot of fun, and I think this is setting a good precedent for what people can do, what other developers can do with PlayLink, because I think you can get pretty creative with that.
Yeah.
And you can make some really good games that stand the test of time, even. So.
I was trying to figure out like what this game was all about when they were unveiling it, and once they explained the fact like, oh, it's with your phones and you're interacting with this like on the console, what's going on with the TV. I thought that was really cool because Steam has a few games like that already, where it's like for parties where you get lobbies going on and then you connect with your phones, and they are some of the most funnest games I've ever played, like, to be honest. So when you're with your friends, and it's just a whole new perspective for gaming, and to see it in such a like amazing kind of story where you actually have all these actions and choices and very creepy element too. I think it looks really, really cool, and I'm absolutely 100% down to play it with you guys.
Another game that was on PlayLink was that you was like kind of like, would you rather, like, oh, have you ever kissed a boy under a tree? Like, not for me. Taylor was like, oh,
I don't think that was one of them. Who was the most likely to laugh at a teacher's joke? There was nothing. Who has kissed a boy under a tree?
Have you ever hit on your teacher?
It was. Would you kiss a random stranger at a carnival or something?
See,
like that?
That's different.
Hey,
no, that's different than who's kissed a boy under a tree.
Come here.
No, those are different things.
Everything.
Because that's a hypothetical. One's like, who's kissed a boy under a tree? Like, this is so specific.
Would you kiss a boy under a tree, Jimmy?
As much as I was just saying that PlayLink has some possibility to make some really cool games, this does not look like one of them. I think this is one you would play one night, and then you'd be like, oh, that game was kind of fun, and then you just uninstall it. Like, you'd have to wonder, I guess they said this game's free for a bit, right? So that's cool. Or was that Hidden Agenda? I don't know.
No, this one. This one. Free.
So, I almost feel like this should be like just a free PlayStation to get people to download a PlayLink. Like, I don't think people should have to pay for this, to be honest with you, because you don't really need a fucking game to play this game. You can't do a fucking hidden messages or whatever it's called by yourself, but you can ask your friends, hey, who's kissed a boy under a tree? You can do that without a fucking PlayStation.
It's Hidden Agenda, but I think Hidden Messages is like a teen rom-com game that you play next year. Hidden Messages.
Hidden Messages. Yeah, this is, I don't like, I don't remember what it's fucking called.
That's actually a terrible
That's true.
Taylor, have you ever kissed a boy under a tree?
No.
Richie.
The better question is how many boys at the same time?
How many Jimmys?
Oh fuck, Jimmy's a boy. He's a young child.
This game, I don't know, I think it looks like a lot of fun, to be honest. I think
best game of the conference.
I think if you have
a sleeper hit,
if you pop back a couple of drinks,
Vitamin's,
you have a couple cold ones with the boys. After
oh fuck, I'm so done with this meme.
Just like 8 men just hanging out. Who's kissed a boy in a drink? One of us, like.
Everybody golf. A golfing and fishing game. I don't know. It was cool to say
it's not a golfing and
fishing. It's cool to say shoot up, play some golf one up, but like, this is not anything I'd play. It was alright, but deserved to be on the pre-show.
I will say, as far as golfing games, this one looks pretty fun relative to other golfing games.
You know, I don't know. It looked more like an RPG game before.
Oh, really?
Because you got your fishing,
level up your
you got fishing, you're swimming, you're exploring, you're doing all this stuff. Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty interactive.
You're exploring.
I mean,
I guess kind of.
You're looking for boys under trees.
For the boys to kiss.
Hey, you wanna kiss?
What the fuck? Travis just broke. We'll take a 5-minute intermission while we repair him.
It's been a long day, folks. Gran Turismo Racing 2017. Once again, another big game that's not for us, but a big game. We've not had a huge game. We've not had a Gran Turismo in the PS4 era, so that's good for them. I will not be buying it, but great for you racing people out there. You can drive to all your trees.
Yeah, we've talked about racing games a lot this weekend. So
too much.
You know how I feel about racing games, but I think this one looked pretty lame, to be honest with you. I don't think, like, graphically, it looked a little lackluster, and then gameplay-wise, like, I would buy Forza before this, I'd buy The Crew before this. And those are the other games that we've seen this weekend, let alone, right? So, yeah, I will not be picking up this game.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat as you guys. I feel like for the racing games, I feel like Forza is definitely...
It's actually Forza?
Forza is definitely at the top of the line.
Jackal.
I mean, when you compare like the detail and everything, it looks like such a larger scale game just with so much attention given to it. And then, that being said, like for me, I'd probably pick the Crew out of all of them.
You would.
Yeah, Gran Turismo would be at the end.
Gotta get my bike down.
So, it's not something I would pick up if I got a PlayStation.
They talk about some VR games. Super Hot, PC game we saw it last year. I'm pretty sure the PC gaming show looked cool, and I think it's a great game for VR.
Exactly what Taylor's doing.
Taylor's acting like some fucking goof.
Yeah,
Just
I think
the guy.
Mario Golf is the best game of all time.
I forgot that exists. Yeah.
No offense.
Fresh to the sea. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, fucking.
You can't swim in that game.
Jimmy Jr. Get to the side.
You can't go exploring in that. You can't find boys under the tree.
I know a Jimmy Jr. He's friends with my brother.
No,
He's a strange
You
guy.
got a brother?
But yeah,
I didn't know that.
he has a show on our channel.
If we
yeah.
played that,
Yeah,
if we played
remember?
this
Jimmy
game,
Jr.
no.
Yeah, the slave / butler.
Yeah, now I know why he's so fucked up. He hangs out with my brother. Continue.
We're talking about Super Hot. I think this game. I've always thought this game looked really, really unique. Right? It's a.
Kiss any super hot boys on our tree?
Shut up! I'm just trying to talk about this game. The developer tuned in to
You
see
don't
what
care.
we think of this game, and Travis talking about kissing boys. There's no trees in Super Hot VR.
Not yet.
Yeah, no, I think I've always thought this game is very creative. Obviously, there's a lot of first-person shooters out there, but this one obviously takes a very different art style. It's just like very polygonal, which I think it looks pretty neat. And then also, the enemies and stuff only move when you move, and I think that's a really interesting dynamic. I think like a lot of other genres could even take that gameplay element and put it into some puzzles or something. And I'm sure, I guess, it's sort of like Braid. I don't know. It could have been done before, but I think this Super Hot looks really cool, and I think that's a perfect game for VR. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember because we did see Super Hot somewhere last
I swear
year.
gaming show last year.
But was it VR?
I don't think so.
I would doubt it.
I could be completely wrong, but I don't think so.
I could be wrong too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a cool game.
We're wrong lots of times.
Deserves a shout out.
We're just people in a basement, yo.
I
That's
think
me.
the game looks really, really awesome. I love the parts where it's like he's throwing the gun from one hand to the other and he's getting a different angle off on the guy while he's dodging at the same
What
time.
is he doing?
Well, at one part, like, the guy was shooting his bullet at him, and he throws his gun to his other hand, and he leans more to the side to get the shot off. I think it's really cool to get those kind of, aspects and just kind of different angles and stuff, and get you the edge in the battle.
Hashtag angles.
Hashtag angles. So,
It's no action.
no
Spark,
trees.
the Tron game.
It's not actually Tron game, but it looked like that. They were throwing little discs and whatnot, and they're bouncing back and forth. Remember, they're standing one side, they had no legs. They're throwing balls, they're hitting back and
I
forth.
thought we saw that in the PC conference or something.
No,
No,
that was something else.
Wasn't that Lone?
That was Lone Tech or something.
That was like
Lone Echo.
Zero Gravity
Oh, those
Dodgeball.
Yeah. This was just like a sparring sort of game.
Sparring.
I think it was alright. It's a game that I think is a fun little add-on to VR, and I hope it's not too much. Because if it's like a $5, maybe $10 fun little game, cool. Maybe 15, but anything more than that, I don't know.
I agree.
What would be playing?
I agree.
Worth playing.
Tropico 6, Taylor, you called that one. Well, we kind of both did, but you're going to take credit for it. But Tropico 6...
You just gave him the credit.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
You just signed off the rights.
Because he's going to say it. But yeah, Tropico 6, haven't played them. I have Tropico 5 on my PS4. I've yet to play it. I'll get around to it. But that fan base should be happy. You got a new installment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tropico's always been a game where I see it on Steam. Like, that game looks cool, but I just don't know when I'd get around to it. Like, I feel like I have a lot of other games I want to play before that one.
Not cool enough, apparently.
Not cool enough.
No.
But it's always had really interesting... Like, I always think it just looks like a fun game. Looks like a fun city builder. That's all I gotta say, really.
Like
The
Ricochet.
new one, Tropico 6, it didn't sell me on the series. It doesn't look anything... I don't even think we got gameplay, really.
No.
But, yeah, it looks the same as the rest of them. Yeah.
Marley said like Ricochet from Valve. Do you know that game?
Ricochet?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Ricochet from Valve.
Yeah.
What is Spark? What do you
That's,
know?
I think, he's comparing it to.
Mm.
So,
I think we're lost on that one.
Can't help you there.
Taylor?
You know, I'm well aware of the Tropical games. I remember I haven't played them. I remember always going into the game store and I'd see on the shelf, I'd look at it and be like, you know, I feel like I got better games I could play than this. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
It's a game that's never interested me, and I like city builders, and I like turn or RTS strategy games.
Do you like,
Not
do you like them as much as MMOs though?
No, definitely not.
We're doing callbacks to every press conference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you've missed any, you're probably not getting all the jokes.
Yeah.
If I was under
But
a
if you
tree,
have
maybe.
been, you're gonna love it.
It's just a game I don't think I'm gonna get. I mean, it looks funny. I feel like it's a little fraudulent. I don't think that plane could have carried the Statue of Liberty, but you know.
It didn't. It dropped it.
Yeah, but it was carrying it for a good amount of time.
You don't know that. Could have been carrying it for like 10 seconds most.
I guess I'll have to buy the game and find out then.
You will.
A game that I guess I should buy because I didn't know it existed. Huge game. Undertale's coming to PS4 and PS Vita, which is huge because PS Vita still has a big audience. It has a very big attach rate, so the people that have those games are willing to buy things. It's still alive. Not for me. I'm not a portable player guy, whatever. And I don't know if I'll buy it, even though you recommended it. I don't know if I'd like to see a price, but it didn't interest me too much. But that's a big thing for PlayStation, so good for them.
Yeah, Undertale is a game that, at least within the circles that I'm in, a lot of people calling it Game of the Year, and it's an RPG that I guess it's really self-aware, and it's a very special game. I didn't love it as much as everyone else did. I think it was because it was overhyped. I didn't play it until like a couple months after everyone else was playing it, and I was hearing from everyone, this is my favorite game of this is my favorite game of all time. Even like people fucking love this game.
All time.
Yeah, and so when I got around to it, I liked it and I thought it was fun, but I didn't love every last second of it, I guess. So
Yeah.
I think the developer Toby Fox, I think his name is, and he's a really cool dude, and I think he made the game by himself. I'm pretty sure it was a one-man team. I think Undertale is a very special, cool, interesting, unique kind of game, and I think it's awesome that it's coming to a couple more consoles, just because I would love to see what that guy does in his career. I think he'll make some more really awesome games. So.
I think it's cool that they're still pumping out games to the Vita. I almost bought a Vita a long time ago.
Fun fact.
Fun
field fact.
A long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Obviously never happened. I think it's cool.
I don't think we need that follow up.
They're pumping the games out for the Vita, so that's good.
I don't know if I'm pumping them.
Like
You're getting one game that's 2 years old.
Yeah.
That's not pumping.
Yeah, they're sprinkling.
Skyrim coming to Vita.
That's gonna happen.
I don't know anything to say. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Another game that we're gonna fan this whole weekend off with a whimper. Ni no Kuni 2, you guys had no idea about it until I tell you. It has a big following. It was on the DS.
You have no idea until I tell you.
Yeah, I filled you in, okay? It was my favorite game first. It had a big following. It was on the DS, came to PlayStation 3, that whole shebang.
The Vita had an Assassin's Creed game at some point, didn't it?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed
How'd you
Liberation.
play it?
Is that when you almost play? Is that almost when you bought the
They
Vita?
played the entire game in the demo.
They ported it over to 2 consoles, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sir, it's been 5 hours. Taylor shows down the demo and runs out.
They ported it over to consoles, so it's all good.
Yeah, so Ni no Kuni 2, this has been one that on podcasts I listen to that are primarily about PlayStation. People have been talking about it. Has a fan base, so I don't know how big it is. I don't know if it's going to sell. Great for you Ni no Kuni 2 fans. That's awesome. And honestly, it's a big enough deal.
They dropped a date, yeah?
Yeah, it was November 10th, so another 2017 game.
Cool.
So pre-show was filled. Well, that's why I don't feel as bad looking at it like hindsight, because lots of 2017 games, just maybe not for us, but I think it's a big enough audience because they ended their pre-show on that. So that was their last game. So you guys have anything to say on what it looked like?
No.
I was surprised that you knew all this information about it because it had that anime kind of look.
That's
to
why
it.
you listen
I'm
to podcasts like
Yeah,
ours.
anime kind of looked to
Yeah,
it.
anime. I'm going to do that, Jessica, every time. Hey, how your anime show's going? Oh, you don't know?
Anime.
Put your shoes in the shoes of it.
Yeah. How your Wolfenstein anime games?
How's your
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. Fuck, I said
Fuck.
it, guys. That's it.
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great weekend. We did it, folks. We've done 5-6 conferences. We've done watch-alongs. Man, this was a fun weekend. E3 is always fun, even though I will say, overall, we still got Nintendo tomorrow. This is for us, for our coverage. conferences were a little disappointing, I will admit, but you know what? At the end of the day, it was still fun. It's fun to sit. It's fun to see what they release. Fun to make these snide comments. You know, I love you guys. I love everyone that joined us. It was a fun
shout
weekend.
outs to Marley and Michaela in the chat. They were hanging out with us.
You stuck with us almost like the whole weekend, a lot today, so that was good. And we know there's a lot of you that picked up over the weekend, so we do a lot of other reviews. But E3 was a lot of fun. Like I said, we're gonna do a wrap up, so the other people that maybe weren't on every cast can talk about it. We're gonna probably pick like our game of the show. We'll talk about Nintendo because you never know what they're gonna lay down.
Yeah, well, that'll probably be like this week. We'll do a recap.
Yeah.
So just talking about all of the, because I think there's a lot of games. I don't think the conferences were great, but there was a lot of games that I'm probably gonna buy, and a lot of games that I like to see, or games that I'm now are on my radar.
Yeah.
So it was a good, really fun weekend.
Yeah, and if you like movies, you like TVs, you like comic books, you like gaming, we got all that on the channel. We got 10 shows on this channel, so this is not all we do. So, Taylor, where can they find our sledgehammer that's hidden under the tree with the boys?
Little Jimmy.
Little Jimmy.
Well, all you ladies and gentlemen out there, thank you, I have to say, for checking all this stuff out.
It feels like you're gonna announce you're leaving or something. What did that?
I'm taking my depart. I'm going to work for Ubisoft.
Yeah,
They need the help.
on an anime game.
On an anime game.
And they shut down in like 3 months.
They might actually
go
still
join
though.
Space Monkeys.
Oh,
Space
Space Monkey program to build Assassin's Creed Empire. Thank you, Michaela, for the good words. We wish we were doing Nintendo too, but unfortunately we have jobs and like
if they pimped it out and said like we have all these great games coming, then I would have booked it off. But
but we all booked today off. We're already hurting our wallet, and these games are hurting our wallet more.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, so subscribe because we'll be dropping a podcast and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So definitely go into Google. In Google, type in Facebook, and on your Facebook in the search bar, type in GeekVerse Space Podcast. As you know, you'll find this and all the other E3 conference casts that we've done. So much content, and as you said, like you'll find so many other shows. 10 shows, I can't believe it. That's incredible. That's double digits.
And it's a bunch of different stuff. We got comedy shows, you got Geeks Creed, you got Gauntlet, which is gaming, you got Netflix and Phil. Like we got a wide variety of shows. So if you like us even a percentage, you're gonna like the shows even more. GeekVersePodcast.com. Go to Facebook. Go to Twitter. We're on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes. We're Stitcher Radio, Google Play, Podbay.fm, our favorite place. Video services, Twitch and YouTube. Again, thank you so much. This is so much fun. We're just in a fucking little basement here, but the people that interact with us, it was lots of fun.
It was.
Good weekend.
Great weekend.
We'll hear from you next time. We promise you it'll not be boring. Thank you very much.
GeekVerse out.
Bye.